Nutcracker podcast.
Good morning, beautiful people. Here from day 2 at the Web Summit. We just started our Global Nutcracker podcast, and I'm very pleased to announce that we have with us Linus Kruselok from KB Consultancy. Thank you very much, Linus, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So please, can you tell us more about KB Consultancy? What do you guys do, and where is your team located? All the good stuff.
Absolutely. So again, thank you so much for inviting us and having me here. Super great to be here. So we are a KB Consultancy. We are a consultancy that are working in talent acquisition. So we work with business consulting, AI implementation, and we have also now launched a platform called Hire Better, which is then an automation platform for recruitment companies.
Fantastic. Talk to me more about the platform itself. Like, how does it help companies? The name is very suggesting, but how does
Makes
it?
it easy, right?
Yeah. How? Yeah. Actually, but how do you facilitate an easier process of hiring? Because there's a lot of companies that are struggling exactly with
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing is that the platform now that we have came from the issues that we had when running a consultancy is that a consultancy is not accessible for everyone, right? But hiring is still the number one most important process in every single company around the world today. So with Hire Better, what we did was that we launched different tools for recruiters and recruitment agencies to then create job description, candidate summaries, position benchmarking, so that anyone who is now looking to do their hiring does a better job at doing it. So that's why Hire Better.
Fantastic. Actually, it's very self-explanatory, and that's why I asked. And how big is the team? Where are they located?
So right now we are 5 people. We are based in Malaga, but our team is all international. So I'm Swedish. We have my other co-founder. He's Dutch. We have another co-founder, Spanish. We have someone from Denmark. So we have different nationalities working, but we are just operating from Spain.
Okay, so basically, in contrary with other teams, you actually have a lot of diversity in terms of the nationalities of the people
Yeah,
that are working with you, but you're all based out of Malaga.
exactly.
And how are you envisioning expansion? Will you expand again in nationalities but stay based in Malaga, or will you expand also in countries where your people will be located?
Well, for us, the important thing is definitely not where you're located or where you're from, is what can you actually provide, right? So the fact that we now have 4 different nationalities doesn't have to do anything except that they're exceptionally good people at what they do. And that has always been like the number one philosophy that we have, is that we always hire on talent. And this has always been the number one thing. If you're good at something, doesn't really matter where you're from or where you're doing it from. You just need to be really good at it. So to then answer your question, doesn't really matter if they are in Spain or from another country also.
I agree totally with that one, right? There are also some line of thoughts, especially when it comes to commercial teams, though, that you need people with boots on the ground. So yeah, if you get like a unicorn that can juggle multiple countries in terms of selling, being present on events, yeah, that's one thing. But some teams, especially once you grow above a certain number and you launch and you push hard on certain markets, you need some boots in the ground approach. What are your thoughts on this one?
Good question. It is, for me, it's really difficult with that one. And the reason for it is that I come from a sales background originally. I've been doing sales for over 10 years. And now going into doing a consultancy, working more as a product development team, you have this philosophy of like remote first, right? Everyone is talking about, should I work remote? Should I work on site? And I do believe that it is difficult to keep the culture of a team when you are working remotely. And when you're smaller, it's obviously easier. But then, like you said, also, the more that you grow, the harder it also becomes to do it. So it's definitely really challenging. And I think that it all just comes down to like, what are the values that you as primarily the founding team have, and how well do you live by those values? Something that we take into ourselves is extreme accountability, which means that if you're in charge of something, then you are the number one responsible person for that. If it goes good or it goes bad, it doesn't really matter. It should always be in your hands to make sure that it goes the way how you want it to go.
100% aligned with that one. Accountability, especially with remote things, changing time zones, is the key factor. because to the end of the day, if you're working with two completely different time zones, you don't know exactly what your coworker is doing. So you have to trust them to be accountable for their projects, and that's why the deadline is the most important thing and the execution is the most important thing. On the other hand, how would you describe remote work? Because I think that while remote work is giving a lot of freedom, it is a misconception that remote work means that you're never physically present anywhere.
Mm.
You're just doing your job remotely, especially for sales team. As a growth person, the biggest difficulty that I see with remote salespeople is that they just want to do everything remote, and they're never approaching the events anymore.
Mm.
They're never going to the meetups. They're never exploring Luma, Eventbrite to see, where's the next gig that they need to be present, and they're being satisfied with whatever they can achieve through automation or
Mm.
online presence. But you and me know, coming from a sales perspective, that human connection can never be beaten. A deal that you can close at the Web Summit over a beer would take you 2 years to do elsewhere. So what's your thought on that one, especially on commercial teams?
Mm. Love that question, actually. No, I absolutely agree. And I think that, yes, again, like you said, being present, it's such an important part. And the more digitalized that everyone now goes, and you notice this also now when we're here, everyone's talking about AI this, AI that. You're like, damn, there's so much AI. What's going on? I genuinely believe that the human connection is the number one most important thing. And it's going to be even more important now going forward also, because everything is now being digitalized. Same thing now with remote work. Probably one of the biggest issues now coming up is then going to be the loss of human connection in that, right? So you need to go to events, and you need to be, if you're not working remotely, for example, we have our team, we are a remote first. So people now go to Brazil, they work from there. We go to Sweden, work from there. But when we go there, we still need the human connections. It's not like you work remotely and you lock yourself up in your room. Doesn't work like that. It's not healthy for you either. So you still need the human connection to it.
Yeah, exactly. I fully align with it, and I feel like even remote work within itself. By the way, I'm a remote advocate, like I lead the Digital Nomad Association back in my home country.
Mm.
So I'm all about remote work. The thing is that we need to do it the right way so it's scalable and it can be done across the organization. So there are certain positions that they need to have a certain setup, and then other positions which can be more or less fully remote. For example, very technical people which don't have a lot of customer facing interaction,
Mm.
they can work for anywhere. But then when it comes down to the sales team and everything
Mm.
else, you cannot be a regional sales director in the DACH region without ever being in the DACH region. That's my personal opinion, right?
I agreed.
Not, we can go back and forth on this one.
Mm.
Fantastic. And what are your plans for 2026? How do you plan to
Mm.
expand the team? Are you looking to expand more in Spain? Are you looking
Mm.
more to attack any market with any commercial team set up?
Yeah. So where we are at right now, we just closed now our investment round, which we're very, very happy about.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that now just got closed. So now the goal for 2026 is just expansion. Pure expansion. When it comes to people, though, I don't necessarily have a belief that we need to scale at people first. I think that if it now comes to a position where we can't grow in systems, then we need to grow in people. But one person that we have now does the job of five. And that just comes down to that, again, at the core, we are working with automations.
Mm.
And that's our entire business, right? So if we can't be as effective as possible, how are we then going to sell that or promote that to our clients, right? We need to live the way that we also sell.
When it comes to AI and automation,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like right now there's a surplus of tools and automations that are happening, and people are being so attacked, spammed by AI messaging
Mm.
that sometimes it feels like too much?
Absolutely. And especially what you said now with like automated messages, you go onto you go into your own LinkedIn, and then you have 10 new messages
1,000
every
messages
single
per week, yeah.
and it's ridiculous, man. And it also makes it so that the people that are good at the personal connections, they get the biggest window, right? Because you want that personal connection. With me, for example, I can see so obviously when something is being generated. And again, it's clear as day, and it's just going to be that like the overall knowledge of how well people can see AI and like if it's an
Yeah.
AI message or not is just going to be better also, which means that all the automated messages is not going to work. So what we are still doing now in our company is cold calling, and
Cold calling, yes.
cold calling is still one of the most efficient way of getting new deals. And the interesting part is that when I started doing cold calls 10 years ago, right, everyone hated it. And especially even the people who got the calls were like, ah, no, it's fucking salespeople. Oh, sorry, now I swear. But so they have this perception that they don't want it. Right now, people thank us for calling them. And I think that, again, it just comes down to how good of a salesperson are you? Are you the type of salesperson that can actually get the client to say, thank you so much for calling me? I mean, then you're just good at your job, you know?
I'm a big fan of cold calling as well. I'm a fan of
Mm.
calling even your inbound leads in general.
Yeah.
I used to do this, I think like 7, 8 years ago for an Italian company. It went quite well. So right now we'll drop into the rapid fire session where we have 3 questions for you.
Let's go.
The first one being in 3 words, the key to scaling successfully. 3 words only.
Ooh. Quickly,
Yes?
good, efficiently.
Good. I love them. Weirdest compliance rule you've ever seen.
Wow.
Most of them are weird, so you have to have
I mean,
a preferred one.
do you mean in Spain, where we are now?
Wherever, man. I
Yeah.
don't judge. We're global here.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it definitely needs to be one of the Spanish laws. There is, it's so weird, man. There's so many different laws that we need to follow in that. So it's definitely one of the Spanish ones.
Mine would be Italy. When I started in Native Teams as a business development manager, I went through an Italian payslip.
Mm.
I understood that I needed to study 12 years to go through that one. It was crazy. It was the regional one. It was how many kids. It was how many people you expect to hire during the year, which you do not have a magic wand to wonder. So for me, it's that one. And last one, if time and money weren't an issue, which country would you expand to today?
Ooh, probably somewhere in Asia. Probably Japan.
Japan.
Actually, yeah, more for a personal reason that I think
Then for a market size, right?
absolutely beautiful. But I think that also that our services that we provide would go really, really well inside of the Asian market. But then again, to go into a completely new continent, you need to also have the knowledge to do it.
Fantastic. Well, Linus, I thank you very much. Congratulations on the race and really hope to see growth for 2026 for KB Consulting and looking forward to the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Go global, not nuts.